Good day to all of you. Can you people hear me? So we can start our discussion. Thank you, Rusha. Okay, let's start our class. Earlier we had orientation of ICAW advanced level, and then in previous week we analyzed ICAEW syllabus for SPM. But in today's class, again, we are just having a brief overview of SBM exam, SBM structure, how we will study, and then we will be having a brief case study just for as a refresher of our basics, basically, and then we will move forward. There are some people who will be joining us live for this course, and there will be some people who will be getting the recording. It's available in both form. It's live online as well as it is in recorded form as well. Okay, there are some old people and there are some new. So just having a brief introduction and then we will move forward. As I mentioned that there was a complete orientation. If you have pissed it out, you can get the recording as well. That's a brief introduction about myself. I am Noman Yakat and I will be your tutor for SPM exam as well. I am ICAW member, ACC member and PIFA member. I have more than 7 years of teaching experience and more than 5 years of industry experience. And I worked in different sectors, telecommunication, construction, and manufacturing sector as well. I am teaching at various online forums and I also work at approved learning partners. Right now, I am also a university lecturer as well. I am also Expert Books mentor and I also hold business finance professional certification from UK. So these were the contents that were covered in our previous session as well. From now onward, what we have done, let's start from the no pass no fee. We have also started one arrangement that is basically no pass no fee model. It means you will study and if you meet out and if you comply with terms and conditions, definitely you are going to pass. If unfortunately if someone is not passed, then in next time you are going to study with us, that is free of cost, because normally tuition providers charge half of the amount or some other amount, but if you study with us and comply with terms and conditions, definitely you are going to pass. If not, then you will study next time free of cost as well. These are some of the common reasons why students fail in ICAW exams, particularly in corporate reporting and SPM exam as well. One of the most important reason is basically like the overconfidence, basically, because when you join the ICAW advanced level, mostly you are from the ACC or you are from the ICAW professional level as well. That is professional level of ICAW. Because SBM exam include various papers, like it includes strategies, includes finance and some minor portions of corporate reporting and audit as well. So students think like they know each and everything basically, but advanced level exams are entirely different from ACC and from professional level exams of ICAW, or either if you are joining from another body as well. So you have to be very, very careful, because when we talk about the advanced level exam, so it is basically bit more technical. So you have to be good with your technical areas. You have to be very good with your skills area as well. So that is a requirement if you want to pass out your advanced level exams. So that will be methodology that we are going to use, that we are going to apply in our courses. First of all, we will be having our syllabus completion. We will be completing our syllabus basically, And for syllabus completion, we will be having our lectures, as I mentioned. It will be live online and it would be a recorded session as well. So both live online and recorded session as well. As we know about the study material, I will be sharing the 2021 study material with all of my students, but study material is approximately 1600 pages study text. So sometimes it's not possible for student to remember 1600 pages to recall and to go through. So what we have done, basically, we have prepared our notes. We have prepared our notes, that these are complete notes and these are basically the short notes, and those notes are going to be shared with the my students as well. Apart from this, there would be class and home based assignments as well. We will be having some case studies, some discussions in our class, and there will be some assignments that you have to take on, and you will be sharing it with me as well. And regarding practice session, we will be having regular tests. For example, once we are done with our chapter number 1, that is basically about our strategy, so there will be a test as well. And we will be also using the question bank and past papers as well for our practice areas. Once we are done with our syllabus, there would be revision sessions as well, and there would be final exam tips and technique. In our revision classes, if you feel difficulty, definitely we can go through that area. And apart from this, we will be having some technical questions and some other important areas in our revision session as well. If we have a look on our SBM area, SBM syllabus basically, then there are 4 different components of our SBM syllabus. First of all, it is basically about business analysis. Approximately 30 to 40% of your syllabus area is of business analysis, basically. Like a business analysis mean you would be giving some case, some information, and you have to analyze that case, that information. You can say it also like a case study. Second portion is basically of finance. Approximately 25 to 35% of area relates with your finance. Like for example, here we will be studying about hedging. Here we will be studying about foreign currency. Here we will be studying about financial risk management, international investment appraisal. If you have some foreign projects, then what you can do, basically, obviously you need to apply international financial management, you need to apply international investment appraisal. So if you are dealing in foreign currency, definitely there would be FX rules as well, there will be foreign currency rules, there would be currency exchange rate. So what we have to do, then we have to apply hedging, we have to apply option, swap, derivatives, forward contract, future, and so on, basically. Then again, third portion is basically about reporting and audit. Approximately 10 to 15% is of reporting and audit as well. Here, we will study in detail about the corporate reporting as well. So if it means if you are studying both exam, corporate reporting and SBM, it means you are also preparing your SBM exam as well. So studying corporate reporting will also help you a lot in your SBM exam too. And lastly, ethics, approximately 5 to 10% of your area is basically about ethics as well. So ethics are basically the integral part, integral question of all of your 15 exams of ICAEW basically. So these are just the syllabus component. Remember one thing in mind, that these are basically the syllabus component, not the exam component. Like sometimes students think like there would be 40% paper or 35% paper from business analysis and 25% paper from finance. No, it is not necessary. These are just the syllabus percentages basically, like how much portion of your SBM contains business analysis, finance, reporting, audit, and ethics. If we talk about your SBM exam structure, basically, the SBM exam structure is like this. There would be 2 exam questions, question 1 and question 2, basically. So there would be 2 exam questions, question 1 and question 2. Question 1 will be approximately 55 to 65 marks, and question 2 would be 35 to 45 marks, basically. Question 1 is basically a major case study, and question 2 is basically a mini case study. So in question one, there would be business analysis, finance, costing, and ethics basically. So these would be the components for your question one. For question two, again, it would be business analysis, finance, reporting, audit, and ethics. So our reporting and audit portion would be tested it out in our question two basically. That would be tested out in our question two basically. So these are just rough estimate, 55 to 65 marks. It might be 52 marks or 63 marks or 67, but approximately these are the marks. So question one would be a major case study, and question two would be a mini case study as well. So this is basically your exam structure. And again, the exam of SBM would be, again, it would be 3.5 hours exam basically, just like your corporate reporting exam. And again, the good and important thing is that it is basically an open book exam. Just like your corporate reporting and case study, it's your open book exam. So what do you mean by open book exam? Open book exam means you can carry anything into your exam hall. For example, I will be sharing notes with you. You can carry those notes in your exam hall. You can use your study manual. You can use question bank. You can use past paper. Apart from this, if you want to use any other thing, that's entirely up to you. You can use that. It's entirely up to you. There is no issue at all, but you should carry study material according to availability of your space. So what I advise, basically, I advise my students to use the exam file basically. So what is the exam file? Exam file is basically a document. It's one of the most important document that can help you a lot in passing your exam basically. That is exam file. So what exam file contains? Exam file contains a lot of areas, some portion from notes, study material, question bank, past paper. We will discuss this exam file once we are done with all of our syllabus, whole syllabus, and then once we are done with our some questions of our question bank basically. This is the SBM exam structure. Now we will move forward and then we will discuss our some basics and some revision as well. As this is our first class basically, so before we start our first chapter, that is basically about strategy, let's have a brief discussion for our class one activity basically. I have shared a scenario that is basically, for example, an organization is in process of introducing e-learning programs in a competitive environment. So what strategies can they introduce? What strategies they can introduce, how they can market their courses, how they target their customers, how they can differentiate from competitors, any other suggestions or any other point that how they can build up their business basically. I have prepared this small activity. Why? Again, the purpose is that basically just to know about your basics, like how you think like for your business exam basically. Again, this would not be graded, this would not be marked, and this would not be included in your assessment. That is just a part of your small activity, and you can take 35 to 40 minutes time, and you can solve this a brief case study, brief example. Just solve it out according to your knowledge and according to your experience, and we are going to discuss it approximately after 35 to 40 minutes. Can everyone see my screen of class 1 activity? Just send me a message if you can see my screen of your question. Thank you. Okay, and now it's up to you. It's approximately 4:15 at my clock. So I will be seeing you on 4:50 p.m. So have a good luck and start the question. You can use the chat box. You can prepare it on a PDF file or an Excel file. It's entirely up to you. So start your question, start your activity, and then we will move forward and start our chapter number 1. Thank you. Right now, I am muting my mic and I will see you after 35 to 40 minutes. Now, I think we should start our discussion. Yes, Arusha, can I have your answer, please? Okay, if a student had sent me an email, what about other student? Okay, I will check and get back to you. Let's if we discuss it briefly, basically, like what is the purpose and how we can go forward. Basically, like if we see, like it's an e-learning program. Why I mentioned this case study, the entire purpose of this case study, a brief discussion was basically just to make sure, like you are coping with today's changes. Like everyone knows, like in previous year, unfortunately, there was COVID-19. So there was COVID, there was lockdown basically in almost entire world. So completely educational institutes and each and everything was closed almost. So what was planned out? Obviously, there was online system basically. So we can see that there was e-learning concept, although it existed in some countries, some places, but in entire world, almost e-learning concept was introduced. So for e-learning, definitely you need a lot of things. It's beneficial for some of them, it's not beneficial for some of them. That's a separate discussion basically. But our case study was an organization is in process of introducing e-learning programs in a competitive environment. Again, if you look at, then it means scenario says like you are going to introduce. It doesn't say like you have to introduce or you do not have to introduce. So if requirement was like that, either you should introduce e-learning program or you should not, then you could have talked about the benefits, you could have talked about the advantages and disadvantages. But here we are in process of introducing e-learning programs. So it means our entire discussion would be focusing on how we can introduce our e-learning program. So what strategies they can introduce, how they can market their courses, how to target customers, how they can differentiate, and any other suggestions basically. If we talk about the strategy, what strategies they can introduce, obviously they have to go for the marketing because it's an e-learning program, online program, so they need basically online marketing. And for online marketing they can use various tools just like social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, and Twitter, and many other social forums that they can introduce. Regarding strategy, multiple strategies can be used basically, like what is their cost, what is their price structure, how they want to be. Then it will also depend what courses they need to introduce basically. What are the courses type they need to introduce? Either those would be some long courses or there would be some short courses as well. Long courses just like some sort of professional qualifications they may introduce, and some sort of short courses just like Udemy, just like Coursera, they can go for that basically. So it will depend like what type of courses they have to introduce, so their marketing strategy will be according to their courses what they are offering basically. And how to target customers, obviously they need to make sure they address the requirements. They need to address the requirements of their customers basically. It will also depend your marketing, your strategy, your price will also depend on your location, in which location you are basically. For example, if someone is from a rich country from a rich geographical location, then it means you can afford high prices as well. But if unfortunately you are from not a good place, just like Africa or some other place, then it might not be possible for you to afford a high price. So your strategy, your price, your costing structure should include flexibility for which location, which area you are targeting for, basically how you can target your customer. So you might have to introduce some sort of discount, some sort of specific policies, or you may need to target some specific courses for these locations, just like for Africa. Obviously the differentiation from competitors, that would be again one of the most important thing. How you can differentiate? You can differentiate on the base of price, but I think because it's basically e-learning, so apart from price, one of the most important thing would be quality. How much quality education you are providing, basically what's the quality of your courses, what's the quality of your study material, your tutors. Apart from that, how much help is available, how much resources are available for you, is team, is management is available on offline resources as well, either you can contact with your queries, with your problems or not, basically. So there are various methods, various things that we can go for. It will depend on what you are going forward, basically. Obviously I have targeted three different locations, just like Pakistan, Zimbabwe and Gulf countries. Obviously each of the country has its own economy, different type of people live there, different types of courses would be available. So it will depend on how you are going to introduce them. Not only in the case of COVID you can go for e-learning program, we can go for e-learning program just like if you are like some sort of job holder, if you have some sort of busy schedule, if you are just like an entrepreneur, but if you are interested in some sort of courses, just like you can go for leadership, you can go for time management skills, you can go for problem solving skills, and so on, basically. Because it's not possible to write down and list down all of the categories that we can apply here, but we can go for a lot of the areas as well that we can introduce and that we can bring into our strategy as well. So that was just a brief discussion, like what we can do, just a small activity, basically. So what we are going to do from our next class, basically, that is your SPM study manual, that is your SPM study material, and that is for 2021, basically. That is your workbook, that is for 2021. There are basically two parts, that is your part one and that is your part two, basically approximately 720 pages and 820 pages. So roughly it comes out to be 1600 pages. But don't worry, as I mentioned that we will be using our notes, plus we will also be using some sort of book as well. So we will discuss how we can use book and how we can use our notes as well. If you look at the index, if you look at the contents of our this SVM exam, basically, so there are 19 different chapters, starting from chapter 1, that is strategic analysis, till chapter 19. So first 5 chapters are basically related with the strategy side. Sixth one is corporate governance, seventh is business risk management, chapter 8 data analysis, chapter 9 information strategy, chapter 10 human resource management. Till human resource management, you can say that is a part of your business analysis. Starting from chapter 11 to chapter 18, you can say that is your finance portion, or you can say financial analysis, or you can say finance, basically. And chapter 19, you can say that is basically about your ethics side. So what will be our strategy? So from our next class, we will be starting our chapter number 1, that is basically about strategic analysis. So we will start from chapter number 1, that is strategic analysis. First of all, we will be having some chapters of strategic portion, that is business analysis. Then we will be having some chapters of finance. So we will be using a mixture of both theoretical areas and some numerical portions. So students, do not get bored. They have to be very, very careful, like while we are having our lectures, while we are studying, basically. So in coming class, what we are going to do, as I mentioned, we will start from our strategic analysis, and in coming week we will be having 2 classes, and in these 2 classes we will complete our first chapter, that is basically about strategic analysis. This study material would be shared with you, so it is requested from all of you, like you should try to revise, you should go through just this chapter. So we will be discussing these 6 to 7 topics in our coming 2 classes, and then we will be having practice questions of these 2 chapters basically. So we will start from coming week. That will be our chapter number 1, that is our strategic analysis, and then we will move forward. Class schedule and timetable will be shared with students who will be joining for our course as well. So it was all from my side. Thank you for joining. If you have any question, then definitely we can discuss, otherwise we will close it.